Hey, it's me, the Afro Hamurai. We're here again with another season to taste. We've got this track that's playing in the background, and we're going to be using it to compare Baby Audio's newest plugin with what it replaces. And what's cool is that I have some tracks, a lot of them are frozen, but I've got the most important one not frozen, the one named Oof, that contains our drums, because that's what we're going to be looking at today. The plugin we're looking at is this, which is IHNY-2. It really just probably means IHNY-2. That kind of makes a bit more sense, right? And it's meant to replace IHNY. I'm going to tell you what they do, and then we're going to see what sort of sounds we get out of them. So on screen, we have IHNY, the original one, and then IHNY-2. And I don't actually heart this New York because I think that it's just really, really simple, or at least it was very simple when I first got it. But let's have a look at what we can do with IHNY. So I'm going to turn IHNY-2 off. I'm going to solo our drums. I'm going to turn this on and then reset everything just back to where it would be normally. So we have spank, we have output, and we have parallel signal here, this little slider that adds in the signal that we're using. And then we have a solo button just to hear what we're getting with just IHNY. Let's see what we can do with these drums. So it's not necessarily bad. It does sound really good with drums, as you would kind of expect it to for a parallel compressor. But I kind of felt like, especially on a drum bus, it didn't really do much for my sound, at least not enough that I went to it. Yeah, it's not bad on its own, but I could kind of get a similar result by essentially just mangling a compressor on a separate channel. So like a little bus or an audio effect rack in something like Ableton, right? So I ended up not really using it. So when I got advertised IHNY-2, I was like, well, I never really used IHNY. Is this going to be as good as it was? But then the first thing you do is you look at its interface and you realize there's something else going on here. All we have is this big XY control. That's the first thing you see. And then you have presets. So already, comparing this to IHNY-1, the fact that you have presets means that you have stuff that you can actually change, right? Let's listen to what we get just from what I've done so far, and then we're going to go in and we're going to tweak some of the settings to see what we can do using that tweak option at the bottom. But let's have a listen. This lets you set how much of IHNY is happening on the x-axis, on the y-axis, so up and down. That tells you whether you have all of the sound from IHNY or any sort of blend in between. I find that this is a much better way to get an idea as to how to shape your sound with a lot of the presets that exist. Tweak at the bottom. This is the bit that genuinely, I say, makes this very good. Different controls you have is on the attack and release of the compressor. You also have controls over the ratio of the compressor, how much punch you get from it, whether you're introducing any harmonics, whether you're shaping everything, doing a little bit of wave shaping, and also whether it preserves or adjusts your high and your low frequencies to add in either extra bite or extra boom. So I don't mind mangling my settings. So I'm going to play the drum loop and then we're going to adjust it through IHNY-2 and we're going to see what our settings do to the sound and how we can shape it a bit more. Cool. So we've made some adjustments. Let's see what our adjustments actually sound like in the context of the rest of the mix. For me, IHNY-2 is definitely up there in my very fun drum processors. I would say that if I were to choose between this and Devil-Loc Deluxe, it would be a very difficult decision. Even comparing this and something like Arturia's Bus Force is kind of hard, because what Bus Force has by Arturia, for example, if I bring that up real quick. Here we go. So this is Arturia's Bus Force on the right. And what Bus Force does is kind of similar. You can set up parallel compression and you can get some really great bits of clipping through this as well. I really like Bus Force. I think that what IHNY does is take the essence of Bus Force with essentially being a parallel compressor, doing a little bit of that shaping, adding a bit of that saturation, letting you add harmonics, letting you just dirty up the sound of your drums if you want to. And it makes it really simple for you to do. And it still gives you enough control over everything through that tweak bit that if you want to do some tweaks here and there, you can do. It kind of makes Bus Force's ideas accessible. And even comparing something like IHNY to Devil-Loc Deluxe, if I bring Devil-Loc Deluxe up real quick, what IHNY definitely has for me is a better interface. And I think that is just because it's made to look a bit more modern rather than being an emulation of real hardware. So that's kind of in its favor. Devil-Loc does give you less control, but I find the controls that it gives you are what you tend to use a lot more. At the same time, when I was going back onto one of my previous tracks and checking out IHNY-2 versus Devil-Loc that I was already using, what IHNY did was kind of give me Devil-Loc's sound, but a bit cleaner and a slight bit different. I quite liked that. I don't think I'd throw away Devil-Loc Deluxe because of it, though. Like, Devil-Loc Deluxe is so good because I find that it has such a specific style of dirt to it that I just really enjoy on drums. I love it on arps. I love it on synths. I love it on pads sometimes as well. Sometimes I'll use it on my delay channels to add a bit of that extra bite to those as well. It just goes everywhere. That's what I love about Devil-Loc Deluxe. But on drums, I now have something else that I can use alongside Devil-Loc Deluxe to give me those quick ways to get into getting that drum tone that I like. So I definitely think I'm going to be keeping IHNY. I think you should at least try it out. They have a free trial. If you then like it, they have an intro sale. If you had IHNY 1, or if you're not sure, check your emails, check your plugin boutique. If you have a license for it, you get upgrade pricing. It's basically what happened with me. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I have that plugin. I don't think I'm going to forget I have this plugin. It's a very good one. Yeah.